Coming next, though, Raymond van Barneveld against Mervyn King. And Van Barneveld says it's getting tougher with every week that passes.
Every tournament, every round, it's not easy anymore. In the early years, when you play in big venues and hundreds of spectators and hundreds of players, then 1 or 2, 3 easy matches, but you don't have easy matches anymore.
I mean, Ray's a fantastic player, good friend as well, but when we're up there, he'll be my enemy and I shall be his enemy. But I think he'll start pretty quick, and he's a heavy scorer, so I've got to keep with him to stand any chance at all.
The match for tonight against Mervyn, don't forget, Mervyn is a fantastic dart player. He's one of the, I think, in my way of believing, I think he's in the top 4 in the world, best players. Ray's a hard player. He's a hard player to beat. He's consistent. He's very strong. But if I turn up, then he might have a few problems. Mervyn is a fast player. I'm a fast player. So what I hope is a very good match for the crowd and for the people at home. So maybe a 3-2 match. You never know, but I hope the 3 is on my side.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a great atmosphere here at the City West Dublin for the Skybet World Grand Prix, brought to you by the PDC and live on Sky Sports. It's time now to meet our players. Would you please welcome from Broadwell, the King, Mervyn King. And now, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Den Haag in the Netherlands, he's the reigning champion of the world. It's Raymond van Barneveld.
This is one of the few titles that Raymond van Barneveld hasn't yet got on his mantelpiece. It's the first time he's met Mervyn King in a PDC major. The place is rocking. Your commentators, Dave Lanning and Sid Waddell.
I want you all to go, 1985, a 19-year-old Dutch postman watched on TV as John Lowe played Bristow in the Lakeside final at Frimley Green in the World Darts Championship. His name, Raymond van Barneveld. Well, he's left the post and half the world behind. The reigning world champion, the pride of Holland, mentioned in the same breath as Zuidemilk and Van Basten and Cruyff, takes on Dave Lanning, a stout East Anglian.
Mervyn King, he's a very quiet, efficient performer, walked into the arena like a monk going to matins. Such was his focus and intensity. You can see his CV there, it is impressive. He is a considerable professional performer, this man, and he will examine the character and temperament of Barneveld to the ultimate extent.
He is wearing deep-set earplugs just to keep the tumultuous sound of this crowd at bay. And there's the small manner of Barney. And if you're watching Phil Taylor in Stoke, bombed out in the first round, Barney is, as usual, going for your shot, the understacker. So don't be too bitter, Phil, and we'll see you when you get back. Game on!
And it has to be said that this evening this crowd here is something right out of the ordinary. We have covered darts right over the world in every continent, but Sid, I think in all honesty the atmosphere here tonight is just about more intense and white hot than anything we've encountered before. There is the Barneveld party, that's his wife Sylvie on the left of your picture. Out there tonight, the atmosphere is volcanic.
And that's why first maximum to the king, who's wearing more glitter on the back of his shirt than Bobby George wears in a week. 100.
And we certainly haven't taken very long to start slugging it out here.
Mervyn King, with those darts that he designed in metalwork class at school. He was 16, refined by data darts. Watch out for Barney and the understacking later. Beautiful use of the marker darts.
100.
Yes, you're talking about darts, 25-gram Grand Slam darts used by Barneveld. It's so much travelling these days, Sid. He only ever carries one set with him because of security arrangements on the aircraft. And the ultra-efficient media officer of the PDC, Dave Allen, always carries a spare set with him, just in case Barneveld should lose his darts.
And I've seen that Dave Allen practice with him, and he's naff. Barney not far off that 60. This should be a belter. Favourite for the tournament now, Taylor's out. My favourite for the tournament, James Wade, a bit of stomach trouble earlier, but managed just to snitch it against Alex Roy. Yes. You're right about the crowd. The Barney Army wearing the green and making their presence felt.
Double 16 for Barneveld on the first leg.
Charles in the first leg.
He makes it look that easy. This is a regular Rolls Royce of a player.
Thank you.
So talking about Rolls Royces, outside this hotel in the middle of County Dublin, 2 helicopters. An Aston Martin, 2 Bentleys and a Hummer. The owner, Jim Mansfield. What a lovely venue to bring the darts to. Mervyn King in 3 big ones against Barney over the years, particularly in 2003. He lost heavily in major events. It's their first major meeting in PDC auspices.
And King has opened up, clear daylight here. Took Barneveld, what, 5 darts to get away.
55.
And King, for all his introverted look about him, the image he creates, he's a very, very steady player
42.
and will not be intimidated by the majesty of Barneveld.
Majesty is the word. Majestic. Doesn't go for the understacker there. He's got to understack this one though. Ooh, went for the treble 17, long way off by his standards. Mervyn will be at the double first, as you say. Under that Nookie Bear type of look, the famous puppet is 57. A heart of flint.
King in command of this second leg to square the first set. It's the best of 5 sets, we should remind you. 5 legs to a set. Here is Mervyn King from Great Yarmouth, looking at 110.
Treble 18. Barney way back, good pressure of the 54. Shot though, needs ton 40, Dave.
Yes, Mervyn King knows he'll be back looking at 56, and this hasn't been the most auspicious leg that Barneveld has thrown.
105. Mervyn, you require 56.
There we go then, for a level game in the first set. Former world master, Pat 16. Double 4. Down 4, the red bit double 2.
52.
Oh, this would be 1 in the breadbasket for the East Anglian from the world champion. Looking at 2 red bits.
That's one of them. It just took the rascal of a deflection into the wrong bed.
90. Mervyn, you require 4.
Well, he's had 2 darts at this, Sid, to level this set. He can't afford to miss again.
House of the Mad, double 1. Pulled.
No score.
Wow, shouldn't have let Barney in there. A little bit of self-crit in that flung away arrow of despair. Double 8 for Barney. A gift! A gift!
In the second leg.
Well, you can't give gifts.